What if I told you that India lost one of its biggest wars to China? Not a war fought with bullets or bombs, but something far more dangerous.
दुनिया के किसी भी देश में जाकर के बेचिए, लेकिन निर्माण यहाँ कीजिए, मैन्युफैक्चर यहाँ कीजिए।
जहाँ पहले अक्सर विदेशी उत्पाद ही बाजारों में छाए रहते थे, तो वहीं अब भारत की बनी चीजें देश और दुनिया में अपना परचम फहराएगी।
एक तरफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ग्रोथ को बढ़ाना है, एट द सेम टाइम उसका सीधा बेनिफिट हिंदुस्तान के नौजवानों को मिले, उसे रोजगार मिले और उसका परचेजिंग पावर बढ़े, तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की संख्या बढ़ेगी, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का ग्रोथ बढ़ेगा।
The government launched the Make in India initiative, aiming to transform our nation into the next global manufacturing superpower, a direct challenger to China. From semiconductors to EVs, we were told the future was being built right here in India. And at the heart of its promise was a $23 billion masterstroke, the PLI scheme, Production Linked Incentives. The concept was elegant and powerful. Produce in India, hit specific targets and get paid by the government. And if they meet the government's target, like increasing production by a certain percentage, the government gives them a fixed cash reward. Let's say if you made 10 lakh phones and qualified for rupees 400 per phone, you would get a 40 crores from government as an incentive. This was the government saying, if you can run, we will reward you. Let's build India together. And the sectors they choose were the future. Smartphones, semiconductors, solar, EV batteries, textiles, you name it. This time we were not playing small. We were dreaming big. 25% manufacturing share in GDP from 17%. Millions of new jobs, a self-reliant tech-powered India. But now in 2025, something shocking has happened. The very scheme that was supposed to lead this industrial revolution is being quietly shut down. The original PLI scheme is not exactly being shut down, but it's quietly fading out. After years of delays, missed targets and low disbursals, the government is now rethinking the entire plan. Instead of continuing with what did not work, they are preparing a new, sharper version, focused on results, not just promises, and no media will show you this. While we celebrated unicorns, startup funding, and GDP numbers, one of India's boldest bets on its future has been collapsing in silence. But we say India is one of the fastest growing countries. Lots of sharp minds, increasing GDP, on the way of becoming superpower and whatnot. Then why and how on earth one of the biggest India's dream is collapsing? Well, one of the biggest reasons for its failure is execution. On paper, PLI looked like the master key, but in execution, it cracked under its own weight. Let me break it down for all of you into 3 simple points. First, the conditions. Companies had to hit very specific targets to qualify. And even if they did, the approval process was so slow, so bureaucratic, and so cluttered with paperwork that it often took months just to get the funds. Imagine this, you are a company that has already invested crores, you finally cross the finish line, and then silence, delays, follow-ups, red tape. That is not incentive, that is torture. Second, the cash flow trap. PLI was post-performance. You had to spend first, take massive risk, and then hope the reward later. That model works if you are Reliance or Foxconn. Third, and perhaps the most brutal truth. India wants to beat China at manufacturing. But China is not just factories. China is an ecosystem. Entire industrial clusters where every part of the value chain lives and breathes in one place. Raw materials, machinery, talent, logistics, testing, packaging, all under one umbrella. Meanwhile, in India, we build a chip fab in Noida but import 90% of its components from 10 different countries. You cannot win a tech war by assembling parts. You need to own the entire pipeline. And just when the world was ready to diversify supply chains away from China, guess what? They did not come to us. They did not come to India. They went to Vietnam, Mexico, Indonesia. Why? Because they are faster approvals, cleaner systems, friendlier policies, smoother logistics. It's like we had the pitch, but they closed the deals. And then the elephant in the room, who actually got the money. Not startups, not small innovators. Big players like Foxconn, Vedanta, Reliance, and many others. Many smaller firms could not even survive the paperwork jungle. It started to feel like PLI was not a revolution, and here is where it all fell apart. The scheme started attracting the wrong crowd. Companies did not show up to build world-class tech. They showed up for subsidies to boost stock prices, grab headlines, or raise cheap loan money. But real innovation that does not come from chasing government money. It comes from mission, vision, risk, and product obsession. So now, with only $1.7 billion disbursed out of $23 billion, just 8%, the government said enough. Most companies did not deliver, some never even started production. Even after 1 to 2 year extensions, no real movement. So they are pulling the plug. And maybe they are right to do it. Because holding $21 billion hostage for years with no outcomes only weakens the system. But here's the silver lining. We are still in Act 1 of the story. China did not dominate in 5 years. It took 25 years. More than 25 years. With brutal focus, military grade, execution, and long-term capital bets. India is open, democratic, young, ambitious. We have the world's largest youth army. But if we want to build a real manufacturing empire, we need more than slogans. We need industrial ecosystems, not isolated factories. Capital upfront, not delayed rewards. Execution leaders, not just bureaucrats. Startup founders in decision-making rooms. MSME mentoring, not micromanagement. AI-based approval systems to crush red tape, cheap engineers, clean room specialists, supply chain MBS, and public-private startup task forces. Because this is not just a scheme. This is India's future, and we either fix it now or we accept that the superpower dream stays a dream.